And here we are again at Metal Beer and Bullshit. I'm Sean.
I'm Juan.
I'm John.
Big Nose.
All right, so there's a lot of shit been going on since the last podcast. I mean, since we did the last regular podcast.
It's been a while.
Why don't we kind of work our way down the line between shows and news? And I mean, there's a lot I'm sure we're going to miss, but we'll talk about the most current shit. Let's start with the last Suffocation show with Frank in Reading, Pennsylvania at Reverb.
I thought it was a really good show, but I liked Deathfest and when they were on tour with Dahlia better.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, you like those performances better?
I liked the performances better. It wasn't because I don't think Frank was phoning it in. I just thought the band was tighter. So, and I liked the set list at like Deathfest better than this one. So
Yeah, but also you got to remember the one where they played with Black Dahlia. That was not. That wasn't the last show of the tour. Like this one.
I was gonna say. I think
we caught them at the very last day.
Yeah, you got a point there.
And he was probably like ready to go home. Wasn't it his birthday or something close to
something like that.
I think that was the specialness of the show. It was Frank's last show with Suffocation. So I mean,
that was a piece of metal history, though.
I mean,
no. Overall, I thought it was a great show. Good turnout. Good fun time.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen Suffocation 4 times. I've only seen them about 4 times, but I mean, let's face it, we've seen them with. Turn your fucking phone off.
I thought it was off.
We've seen them with Malevolent Creation.
Yes.
Well,
Malevolent.
2 of us have seen them with Malevolent.
Eat my shit.
I seen them with Theocide down in Virginia
Wasn't me.
with Frank. Seen them with Black Dahlia down at Lancaster with the new singer. And then this is obviously the last show I've seen with Frank, so...
Yeah, I've seen him, oh my god, I can't even begin to... Cell Block a bunch of times, Studio One a couple times, with you up at Lemoore. Where else have I seen him? Reading, my old
times.
Yeah, my old band opened for him the one time.
I mean, I definitely wouldn't say they've ever put on a bad show.
No,
I mean, that's... But I mean, in terms of... If you put it in context of their shows, I mean... But still, it was a historical show for us. So, I mean, it was a good time. I mean, they had a great lineup.
Yeah.
Christian was fucking amazing. I loved that.
I never got into that band. I never got into them.
Really?
I've seen them, I don't know how many times, and I got promos from them in the past, and I just did not like them.
Yeah, well,
What don't you like about it?
It kind of gets old after a while for me.
Repetitive?
I was going to say, do you think they're kind of repetitive?
Yeah.
I thought they were kind of a good mix between, like, say, Deicide and Sepultura. Like, I would call them...
Oh, yes.
You know, that I would say that would be a good... If you had to... I hate comparing bands to other bands, but you ultimately end up having to. But I would... And then, who else? Visceral Disgorge? That was the other opener. They were really good. I dug them a lot.
Cattle to Cap was good, but the sound wasn't good for them.
This is the first time I've seen them, and I was really impressed. I'm looking forward to seeing them again.
Yeah, there's another band I've seen more times than I can count. I never get to see them on a headline, though. Like they're the main act. So
No, because the last time I saw them at Reverb, they were with 6 Feet Under.
No, that got split up.
I know. They were supposed to play on Saturday, then 6 Feet Under played Saturday. They played the next day, Sunday, on that side stage when Reverb had the side stage thing going on.
I played both those shows. I didn't even take my stuff home that night. So, but...
Wow, way to bring the show down there, John.
What?
Yeah. All right, so moving on. How about
damn blueberries?
How about the blame it on the fucking blueberries. How about the Black Crown Initiate show? I mean, obviously Juan and I weren't there, so you were the sole representative for Metal Beer and Bullshit.
This section goes out to Neil.
Yeah. This is dedicated to our friend Neil Brown.
Fuck you. The show was really good. At Horror was just amazing. Black Crown, the sound was terrible. We were like real close to the stage, so we had to move back towards the bar a little bit. And once you got back to the bar, you got a better sound, but it was just I don't know if it was too loud. It just was not a good sound. Those guys in general played great, but their gear was breaking down. And,
oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I know that was generally the comment you saw on Facebook was that the sound sucked.
Yeah, the sound was awful.
Was it like that for everybody or just specifically that band?
Just for Black Crown.
Was that their guy?
Yeah,
their front of house guy.
Yeah. Their sound guy, which we all know, the Reverb sound guy, which we all know, he was doing monitors. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, I mean, that's not the first time we've been there, and I know a couple people had commented that the River Show, the sound wasn't all that hot when we were there.
No.
I didn't mind it. But
I didn't like it. That day, I think that the sound setup that day for some reason, and it wasn't even just Rivers, the bands before them.
Again, that was Antara.
That was like, yeah, it was just they didn't do justice to the bands. It didn't have what it normally has because Reverb does have great sound. I've been to shows at Reverb where the sound is fucking on point.
Yeah.
And then that day, for some strange reason, it was like something was not mixing in. Maybe there wasn't that many people, so it wasn't absorbing. Something was going on, but I didn't like it that day.
I mean, Black Crown played great, but like I said, their gear was breaking down. The sound was just bad. I mean, it was a lot. You can tell when Andy was singing and when he wasn't. So that's how bad it was.
Oof.
Yeah.
Well, then I guess I'm not too upset I missed it. Moving forward from that, I guess Black Crown's going to be doing a lot more shows now. And I see they're playing down at, was it Club 13 in Delaware?
Yes. I forget what the date is.
I think it's in March sometime. I saw it on Facebook.
Yeah, they're. I know they're working on a new album. Last I talked to Andy. And this was before the show, but well, at the show he had a few to drink. Loves his craft beer. He might be one that we should have on someday.
Well, no, I've told you to get him on the show.
I can do that right now.
Get it, do it.
I can do it right now.
Text him while we're fucking
do it live.
while we're doing the podcast.
All right, well then start talking.
And the other thing I wanted to ask about, speaking of Black Crown, I mean, I don't want you to speak for those guys, but why the big, kind of why did they lay off playing for a while? I mean, was this because they had switched people out? I know they had, was it drummer and guitarist they kind of replaced?
Yeah, that's for
was
the
it
most
the bass
part.
Player?
It was the bass player and I think the one guitarist.
All right, is that who they? All right.
Yeah. But
and then
keep going.
we have. Well, let's talk about really quick about the upcoming shows of Reverb, really fast.
I've only seen the one, which is Soulfly of metal. That is.
Well, no. You said you were going to go to Twisted at Reverb.
Oh yeah.
December 31st for New Year's.
Oh yeah, I'll be there with all my Juggalo paint on.
No, but they got February 9th. We got Soulfly coming in, which is really the Pagoda Metal Fest.
Yes, with Cataclysm.
All-day event starts at 2 p.m., I believe. They got New Year's Evil, which whoever wants to go to that, that's John's deal again. You'll see Big Nose hanging out there.
No, you won't. I'll come clean about something here, and I'm not coming out of the closet, but I went to see ICP the one. I was an ICP fan for about 2 years, and they came to the Silo. Shut up.
You can't even come clean with that, dude. That's some dirty laundry.
So they were at the Silo, and I was standing there in the middle of the floor.
Whoop whoop.
And get hit in the head with a can of Faygo?
No, I just stood there and I went, "This sucks." Just literally, just dawned on me. This sucks.
And you're like, Neil, let's go.
And I turned around, walked out the door, and I have never looked or heard another ICP song ever again. I just was like, it was like the epiphany from hell.
So you're going to blame the Silo.
No, I'm not blaming the
on
Silo. I love the Silo, but it was just, I just stood there and went, this is fucking awful, and walked away and never looked back. So
fucking 4 hours in makeup for nothing. It's fucking crazy. It's such a wasted day of makeup.
4 hours of makeup and crotchless underwear and for fucking nothing.
Although Faygo is a really good drink, though.
Is it?
Yeah.
Does it go good with whiskey?
I never tried it, though.
It might be better.
I might try it.
Whiskey and an ICP album.
All right, moving forward. Next order of fucking news. So let's talk about the guy from Cannibal Corpse.
Oh, wonderful.
This is a big story.
Wow.
I want his weapons.
The guy had a flamethrower in his hand.
Two flamethrowers.
And not only that, but like in the article, you could the next door neighbor was like, yeah, he would test them out regularly. I'm like, that's incredible. Like, what do you do in your backyard? Like, hey, what's up, Bob?
Here, let me try that hot dog for you.
It's great.
Got a hornet's nest in a tree again.
How do you even come to purchase that? Is what I would.
Were they not homemade? I thought they said something about them being homemade.
I don't know. I just when they said like what the weapons were and the ammunition and all that, I'm just like, why?
Well, and then he got popped, I guess, with a sawed-off shotgun. Which,
Yeah.
if you don't,
Really tiny sawed-off shotgun.
yeah, like it was,
Like microscopically small. I'm like, that's incredible.
yeah, like there was no penis envy there. It was tiny.
Yep. It was like here.
And I'm not a what's the word I'm looking for? A gun person, but I knew those were some crazy amounts of guns and like
Get over. It said 50 or more just shotguns.
yeah,
It was a pile. It was, but I
There were-
mean, it's the sawed-off shotgun's enough to get you fucking 30 years.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, if you don't have, like, you can buy them legally.
Right.
You have to get, it's a special, you pay a special tax stamp and go through a special background check, and you can own them. But like, if you have them illegally, I mean, that's what they set up Randy Weaver with, was a sawed-off shotgun.
Okay.
I mean, it was.
And he had some Uzis. Some...
Yeah, he had military style, weapons and shit like that. I'm like, whoa, what the fuck?
Yeah, I mean,
Hey,
wrong
you
with
know
that,
what,
if you're into it,
right?
You know
If
what I mean?
that's what
Like,
you're
I don't-
into. I don't
am.
know this kind of stuff, and I don't want to get political here. I do believe we all should be able to own, weapons.
But I mean,
So-
the whole story gets crazy. It wasn't
I
just
know.
it wasn't just the fact that the house was on fire. He ran into somebody else's house, shoved the person down, was
Claiming
screaming
the
about
world was over,
Yeah,
right?
the world was ending, the apocalypse was on its way, and then hid behind a fence, and then
Hit the floor, everyone.
and then ran at the cops with a knife in his hand and got tased. So. And then the next thing you see is him in a suicide vest at his arraignment hearing. So I mean, it's a
Yeah,
fucking
shackled
freaky.
up.
Yeah, it's a freaky fucking story.
Yeah,
so,
it is.
I mean, I hope the dude's all right. I mean,
From
Now-
what I saw, Cannibal put a press release out saying that he is going to be able to tour and he's going to get the help. Hey, good for him.
well, I know they said they're touring.
Yeah.
They didn't actually say he was going to
That's
tour.
true.
So
Of all days, though, Cannibal Corpse gets announced to open for Slayer on their farewell tour. And
And
later,
that's the day.
And that's the
Yeah, it was
day
the
that this
same day.
happens.
Yep.
Wow, that must have been some really heavy partying.
I mean,
I mean,
I
there's
hope-
another way to say I don't want to open up for Slayer, I guess. But
I hope the dude's all right. I mean, I hope it's not a matter of some kind of mental illness or breakdown or something. But I mean,
well, then they
it's-
said, wait, we were talking yesterday about it. They said that they needed to give him a drug test before they would even grant him bail or let him
Yeah.
out.
Right.
But then it says in the article that he did get released. So does that mean he wasn't on drugs, or
I don't know.
Because it doesn't say anything about it.
I mean, think about what he was doing and what happened in that whole situation. Like going into the neighbors. There's
me.
something messed up in your head there. That's not just I went crazy for the day. That's a
No,
hallucinogen.
well, everybody was jumping on the whole bath salts and meth.
Yeah.
Shit. But I mean, you don't know. I mean, the dude could have been on
He coulda-
antipsychotics or antidepressant medication, tried going off of them, or
Right.
ran out, and just had an
So-
episode.
So I guess my question is like, was he on drugs, and then they realized, all right, you were on drugs when that happened, so we're gonna give you bail and let you go, or are they saying, listen, you weren't on drugs, you're just mentally fucked up, so since you weren't on drugs, but you're mentally unstable, we're gonna let you go until it's time for you to come back.
But if they, and this is maybe digging into something a little too deep, but if they figured that he's mentally unstable and they know he has that many, guns and stuff, is that cool? Is that going to be kosher? Is he going to get time for that, or because they can't be legal guns then?
No,
They-
I don't
they're not
know
gonna
this.
Charge,
I
I don't
don't
think they charge it with any of that, but at the end of the day, an illegal weapon is illegal, no
Right.
matter what your mental state is.
yeah, correct. I mean, it's
You know what I mean? Like, it's not a question of like, well, he was a little fucked up, and we're gonna give you a slap on the wrist.
But I mean, they never did say though that the sawed-off shotgun and the flamethrowers were illegal. So
No,
I mean,
no, they
'cause you
did say
can-
about the shotgun, I think,
but
because
you
it was,
can legally own all that stuff. You just got to go through a rigorous background check. Blah, blah, blah. I'm not a fucking lawyer, so I'm not going to get into that. But you can own that shit in certain states. Pennsylvania, you can own it.
Okay, I
So
I
do
don't.
you think
I don't
that
know
he'll
that
be?
stuff.
You think he'll be touring?
Do I think he'll be touring?
I mean, he is white.
I honestly, I don't think he's going to be.
He might. I mean, he wasn't killed
Right.
during the arrest. I mean, only
After charging the cops with a knife.
only a white guy can literally like have a shitload of weapons,
Burn his house
burn his
down.
house down, and run out with a knife, and only get tased and arrested gently.
Well, In all honesty, though, when they show the pictures of his house, like even though it's charted and everything, and he was renting this, and he had that big, humongous pickup truck, a really nice house in Florida, it makes me go, he must have been doing pretty good for himself. I mean, yes, he does tour, but he's not a founding member of Cannibal Corpse. He's basically a hired gun.
Maybe you're assuming that he got his financial success through Cannibal Corpse.
Yes, I am thinking that too, but
He
maybe
could be a good gun runner.
right.
Hey, kudos to him.
Yeah.
One of my favorite hobbies.
This ain't the trivia question,
just
but I got a
sucks that
trivia
I,
question for you guys.
I couldn't get one of these flamethrowers before they put him away.
What?
I mean, a barbecue.
You don't even have to have a grill. You just
That's
got to
what I mean.
fucking hit the cow and
They'd
fucking
be like,
cut it
"Sir-
off.
Sir, what is that in your possession? It's a portable grill. It's just,
But Pat O'Brien played in 2 bigger bands. What 2 bands were they?
I don't know because I was going to ask you where he came from. I'm not.
give me a first letter of one.
I mean, are these
one of them?
Florida bands?
No, neither of them were Florida bands.
no, just but well known.
Well known.
Just the first letter. And
I
I'll
mean,
take
should
a
we be
guess.
embarrassed for not knowing this?
No.
Oh, okay.
The band that he actually did an album with, the first letter starts with N. It's one of my favorite bands in the world.
Napalm Death?
No.
I wish we had the Jeopardy music.
Starts with
Necrophagist?
Nope.
9-inch dildo.
We're going to go on forever on this Nevermore.
All right.
Oh, was it Nevermore?
Oh, I was going to say that.
All right.
So what's the other band?
He did a string of dates with him as a touring guitarist, and they're a very large band, and you guys just seen him this summer.
Crowbar.
When I say large, I mean a bigger band, one of the biggest bands. Matter of fact, I just mentioned him while we were talking about this.
Behemoth?
This summer. Here in Reading?
Yes, sir.
Ooh.
Where at Reverb?
No.
Testament?
No.
Anthrax?
Nope.
Slayer?
Yep.
He played with Slayer?
Yep. He was. He did the first 2 weeks of the first tour without Jeff. He was the original.
No
When he
shit.
broke it, when he broke his arm?
No, when he first
when
got
he-
the spider bite.
Oh.
Yep. And then Gary Holt took over because Gary Holt was still on tour with Exodus.
Well, you know what? Let's go ahead and wrap
Yeah, I was
up
just gonna
the
say.
Cannibal Corpse shit and get right into the Machine Head Slayer thing. So,
Okay.
Gary Holt, obviously, there's a family issue. He had to leave the tour early.
His father just passed away.
Um,
Phil Demo from Machine Head,
Violence.
Torque. Oh, Jesus Christ. He has a laundry list of bands he was in.
Is that the main guy from Machine Head?
no,
No, that's Rob Flynn. But he is filling in. Well, I think that tour just wrapped up. But he filled in for like the last 3 weeks for Gary Holt. Sounded really good. I thought it was great. Good choice of picking
Better, as good,
as good.
as
But
good.
now what's the news? Is the news that he just played with them,
Yeah,
or
he
that
just filled
he
in.
is gonna try to fill in?
He just filled in.
So that's it. There's nothing else with that story.
No, that's it. Just, he stepped up to the plate, learned his stuff.
Yeah, in a matter of like days.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I'm pretty sure somebody from Violence probably, originally knew
Yeah.
most of the Slayer shit anyway. So.
No, but in the article, he was saying like it's not like it wasn't just learning the song; it was learning what they did live, what Gary Holt did live. You know, the changes that they were doing. He's like, I just had to figure out.
Right.
And I also like that he was saying, I was so excited and I wanted to smile, and he barely looked up because he was so
Right.
like into it. And then he's like, but you can't smile when you're in Slayer.
Right. I mean, I watched a bunch of videos of it, and I was impressed. I really was. The guy came out of nowhere and did this. Literally finished the Machine Head tour, flew here, did this all in like a week's time.
So, well, you and I had a slight exchange about this, but you were saying about the Machine Head wrapping up abruptly, but I think that was pretty well planned. Didn't they say that they were going to wrap it up after that last touring cycle? Like, they wrapped up that, they did that tour, and then that was it.
Yeah, they were in the middle of a tour, and then out of nowhere.
So they never completed it.
Oh, no, they did complete
They
it.
did, all right.
But they were in the middle of the tour and then just came out with, this guy left, that guy left, and 2 days later
So
it's
they're
like,
done.
yeah, 2 days later it was, we're done touring after this.
Yeah, but did Rob Flynn not say that he was possibly going to find replacements and keep going with Machine Head?
He did, but then he retracted it and said, no, these were the guys. Like, I get, my bottom line is,
Start something new, dude.
yeah.
I mean, I don't know about you guys. I was not a Machine Head fan. The only Machine Head song I ever liked was the one that was on the Demon Knight soundtrack,
Jeez, I don't even remember
which was
what
the
that
song. I think
yeah.
it was called Demon Knight. And
But,
that was
I liked Machine Head. I liked their first 2 albums, and then
When they came
The
out, they had a
Blackening,
good, different
yeah.
sound. It was just different, and we were like, "Whoa!" You know, he used that
Well,
crazy
they
sound. that
came
always
out
do.
right around that early Corn, Coal Chamber.
yeah,
And I mean, I'm not going to compare them to them.
No, because they don't sound anything
No,
like
they
that
don't,
genre.
But they do sound. They have that kind of. They rode the coattails of that. I think.
yeah, they did.
I think they
Yeah,
were
they got-
really thrown in with that group of
After
music.
like I think there was their second or third album, they really got rappy, like to the point where it was not that good, and I completely wrote them off. And I heard The Blackening, and I was like, oh shit, this is really
I
good.
just, you know what? After Violence, I could never like. It was just one of those things that all those guys were in Violence to me. Like, you know,
Right.
it was like, nope, can't do
Well,
it.
Phil Demo came in, I want to say 2003, somewhere in there. Like all the mid 90s stuff, that was other guitarists. So I do know this. The zine that I did back in the day with Joe Carr, they did an interview with Rob Flynn from Machine Head, and literally they started talking about Violence, and he just said right out, if this interview is going to Violence, we're done.
Oh, with Joe,
Yeah.
really?
Yep. Because at the time he didn't want to talk about Violence at all, but then he goes and gets Phil Demo, and then everything was, oh, we're going to do Violence, we're going to do Violence, we're going to do... Yeah, so.
I don't know, dude. I really wish Sean Kelly would fucking. I know he had issues, so I wish he would.
He had a liver transplant, I believe it was.
I think so.
So
First started drinking.
Yeah. Well, this is great. We have such amazing segues. So that segues us into the next topic. So apparently, metalheads drink and do drugs more than anyone else in the music world.
no shit.
That's not true.
And
No,
it's,
I wouldn't say
well,
it's true.
and it's not true because I think EDM
Yeah.
had a higher instance. They were just above us.
I mean, wasn't who was the? Was it Ariana Grande? No, whoever was heroin. That was just Demi Lovato.
I don't know, but like, is it a fucking shock that metalheads like to drink and fucking smoke weed? I don't think it is.
No,
and-
I
No,
don't.
but I don't think it's any different than any other genre.
Right.
I mean,
But I also don't see it as an issue.
I think maybe they're just more public about it versus
Right.
like, the closet druggies and alcoholics from, the pop world and the other bullshit world.
Amy Winehouse is who you were trying to think of.
No,
okay.
recently.
Oh, fuck off.
Like
man.
somebody
No,
that's
she
recent-
actually
no,
died
she-
of alcohol
she
withdrawal.
fucking, yeah.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, she was trying to.
There's no hiding that one.
No, they actually say that alcohol is harder to come off of than anything else
Yeah.
because you can actually die from withdrawal from alcohol.
Jeez.
And benzodiazepines, if that's what they're called.
And what?
Benzos, which would be like,
Let me state that we are not doctors.
no. But what you take, not
But I play one on
Xanax.
TV.
No, it's a gynecologist.
Okay, I'll take.
But it's the only two things that kill you if you try to get off of it, if you're really addicted to it. Like,
All right.
getting off of those things is what is dangerous. So keep drinking, my friends.
Yes. Stay thirsty.
Stay alive.
Yes.
Drink craft.
Amen.
I'm not promoting drinking. I'm just saying drink.
Yeah,
Water.
correct. If you're already drinking it, just keep drinking it.
Yeah.
Enjoy craft beer.
Yes.
But honestly, though, my opinion of that is,
It's just an opinion.
yeah, my opinion is, so everybody drinks, everybody smokes. What more do you want?
Yeah. Well, what's the fucking point? What did you have to point that out specifically for?
Because they're bored and they have nothing
Yeah.
else to fucking talk about.
Yeah,
So fuck them.
yeah.
Yeah, I like to drink, and no,
That's,
I'm fine with it.
yeah.
I'm sure I have a slight problem, but
I have a friend that is a what's the word I'm looking for?
gay.
No. She
Leave Neil out of it.
she works with rehabs and recoveries and for drugs and alcohol. And we asked her the one time about me and my wife's drinking habits, and she's like, "There's a slight problem, but you're not considered an alcoholic." She's basically broke it down to alcoholics is you dream about alcohol, and as soon as you get a chance to, you have to have it.
Yeah.
If you can wait till 5 o'clock and only have a drink tonight.
Now, suffice to say, I had a relative that was an alcoholic and started drinking as soon as they were out of bed and kept drinking. In fact, it cost them several jobs. I mean, that's an alcoholic.
Yeah.
They died from it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and you know who it is. So, I mean, I know.
Way to go to a dark place, Sean.
Yeah. Hey, somebody's got
Nice.
to take it down.
Hey, I actually called somebody out for a change on this show. Yes.
All right. Let's bring this back around.
Yeah,
Let's talk about,
don't suck your dick too long there, John.
Let's talk about Coke and
Coke.
crack.
Oh, yeah, let's talk about Coke.
Bring it up a notch.
All right.
Next.
So what do you guys have any more news that you want to talk about? Any other shows coming up? I mean, coming up we started briefly touching on the
We did the Reverb
Sepultura.
one.
I know the Decibel Metal and Beer Fest is coming up in April.
I have a bunch of dates here.
Yay.
Chameleon Club on the 19th of January is 51 Peg. I'm sorry I don't know what they sound like, but friends of mine in Spinebelt are opening.
Who's Spinebelt?
Spinebelt's from like Lebanon, Lancaster area.
Okay. Hardcore?
No. Once again, hate comparing them to bands like industrial metal.
Oh, okay, cool.
All over the place, kind of. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have the sound effects hooked up this time.
We've been here an hour, and I just noticed it now that the sound effects ain't here. Anyway, February 13th, Between the Buried and Me is at the Chameleon. That show will probably sell out. Murphy's Law is at the Chameleon on the 17th of February. We talked about Reverb. Here's one that I'm really looking forward to and everything like that. Oh, okay. Well, I'll get closer. Vicious Circle at Bar 13.
Yes, I think we should make an appearance at that and maybe do an interview or two.
We can try that.
I would like that.
January 11th. So that's what I have coming up. And later on, I just made notes of it. The Beer Fest, it's Pittsburgh meets Philly. I don't remember the dates. It's in March. And, of course, Decibel Death and Beer Fest, April 13th and 14th.
Yeah, and that one, I don't know who's going to that. I know you've got tickets for it.
I got both nights. I'm so stoked. It was such a good time last year.
They went and they spread that out exactly the way I didn't fucking want them to. So I don't know how that's going to work out. But
Exporter one night and
Obituary is the one night, and then I think the next night is Exporter and
Deceased and Triptychon
and Trip. Yeah, that's the one I'd want to go to. But of course, that's fucking Sunday night.
Yes,
but I think you're on the Exporters Desecrators Facebook page as well.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try and get a hold of Kyle Thomas and see if we can't get an interview.
Oh yes, I want to work that one. I want to write that one so badly.
And it'd be good for you to contact him as well. I think if we hit him from both sides, I was gonna offer to buy him a Philly cheesesteak. Like I will go fucking pick him up at his hotel and take him to Pat or Gino's, wherever he wants to go, as long as we get the interview. So
John's roast pork.
No,
what are you offering your
pork?
dick?
No.
Do you want my roast pork?
No, that would be a smoky, one of those little.
Yeah, who ain't even that.
The maple dripped.
But no, John's roast pork is world renowned for their roast pork sandwiches, but their cheesesteak is just second to none.
Man, but that's not what people think of when they think of Philly. They think of Pat's or Gino's.
Right, but I'm just,
Which I got to say, we ate at Gino's. It was not. I want to hit Pat's next time.
I like Pat's better.
Yeah. So
I like Jim's better than Gino's.
But anyway, that's going to be the offer. You will see that on the Facebook page soon.
All right.
So,
but that show is going to be just crazy. I went to last year's, and the beer there is just it's so cool the way it's laid out. The beer's great. Yeah, it's a good time.
Well, we'll see if I can swing that one. I wouldn't mind doing Sunday.
I know they. Sorry for breathing in the mic like that, but I know
yeah, you've done really well at not breathing heavy like a fucking pervert.
Oh, Sean, you're bald head.
It's Johnny the Priest.
But I think it was last Thursday. They had a
Neil boy.
They had a special on tickets for Death Fest or Decibel, and I think they were like $30. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
For each night?
Yeah.
Wow. Oh. All right, and while we're still in the bullshitting and show segment, normally most of us would all be going to Death Fest in Maryland.
Yeah.
Juan and I are probably going to forgo Maryland, and we're going to go to Quebec.
I'm still on the fence. I might go.
I mean, that's the lineup for just.
I like the lineup better.
The very fact that
I like the lineup.
It's 2 days, and Asphyx is fucking playing.
You just want to see Asphyx so
well,
bad.
yeah.
I do. They are so high on my bucket list that.
But when I do compare the two shows, like I even though it's 2 less days, I really think that the lineup in Canada just
It is
seems
a
a little
really-
bit more
It's
promising.
Well, and there's another band on there that was supposed to play Death Fest last year. It backed off. It's Cathialist.
Okay.
I've been wanting to see them really bad. Like
Okay.
they're almost as they're high up as Fix on my list. So
And it's Canada.
yeah, and it's
Hey,
Montreal.
I've never been to Canada, so
No,
Yeah, I haven't either. So it's new.
But yeah, I actually, when you guys were sending that over to me, I did think about it.
Well, I mean, you're more than welcome. You know that, and it's the same price as Maryland.
Right.
The only with me the deal is at Maryland the biggest band I wanted to see there, well, the two was Scour and Pestilence. I've seen Deicide fucking tons of times. and-
What
I
about
wanna
Triptychon? You didn't want to see them?
They're not on this one.
Oh, they're not on this.
No.
No, they're on
Oh,
Quebec.
that's
Quebec.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
Borknagar's on Maryland. I really want to see them. So
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing them, but I have a feeling you're going to see some of these dudes popping up on the Quebec one because they only announced half of them.
right.
Yeah, they still haven't announced some
Right.
stuff. So, but either way, I just think this year, the lineup there just sounds a little bit nicer for the main bands.
Well, the one thing with me for Maryland is it's just a getaway for the weekend and all that kind of stuff. So I mean,
Well,
And it's
we're
only
only
an
going to be
hour
doing
drive.
we're
Go
only
to
doing
both.
we're only doing 3 days in Quebec. I mean,
5
that ain't fucking 5.
a week.
We're
month
well,
and a
no,
half.
We're doing 10.
I guess it'll actually end up being more closer to 4. We're going to leave
25.
Thursday
I
and
think
come
it's
back
4.
Sunday.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a 7-hour drive. But I can tell you, dude, honestly, it's not a bad drive because Gail and I did.
You drive for a fucking living.
I know. That's why I don't like doing long drives anymore.
Yeah, and he's like having an old woman.
Yeah,
in the
but you're
car.
driving for a living to work. This is like driving for fun.
Yeah, and you can sit
It's
in the
two
back and
different fucking
drink.
Driving.
You don't even have to fucking drive.
He's
Just
sitting
drink.
in the fucking back.
Huh?
What is he getting an Uber there?
We'll talk about this on other times.
I don't know. I think now's a pretty good time.
That's right, Leanne. I hope you're listening. Guess what? John's going to Canada.
Yeah, speaking of which, Leanne better listen to this.
You take it up with her.
She doesn't listen to our podcast.
She listens to it when I'm listening to it.
Oh, okay.
Um,
That's fine.
she
What are
does.
you, a woman beater?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
You're
abuse.
like, I'm listening to this. Now listen.
I know it's abuse.
My wife has been with me for 20 years, and let's just say
She hears you talk enough.
that's 1, 2.
20 fucking years she's been with you since you've been dyeing your goddamn hair and beard? For
I've been
20 fucking years.
I've been dyeing my hair longer than that, brother.
Holy shit.
I was dyeing my hair in 1993.
No, you weren't.
Yeah, I was.
Stop it.
You were going gray already then.
Yeah, I was going gray in 11th grade.
Well, I know somebody who's been dyeing their hair black way longer than that.
Oh,
So do I.
Yeah, I do too.
That honestly, that's kind of where I got the idea. He was doing it just to be cool. I was doing it to cover the grays.
I don't know why you're covering up your gray. Is what I want to know.
Well, I know I think his brother listens to the podcast, so I'm sure he will pipe up
What
on
are
the
you
Facebook
so
page when he
like?
hears it.
What is it with you and gray hair that you're so anti-gray hair?
I just don't like. If I woke up tomorrow and it
I
was
mean, it's
all-
not like your gray roots aren't showing all the fucking time.
right.
so-
But if I woke up tomorrow and I was completely gray, I'd be a happier camper. But the growing in between, I know I can get it all stripped out, but no, I'm still youthful, kind of. So
that has nothing to do with fucking hair.
to me, it is. You know, I have it all yet. And, you know,
Well, why don't we go ahead to the obvious question?
let's get back to the show.
What do
here.
you think the obvious question here
Do
is?
the drapes match the carpet?
Right now, they
Thank
do.
you.
No, I don't. I don't die down there.
Leanne,
God, why am I going into
Leanne,
this?
is it time for me to break out the Muppet?
Why am I going into this? All right, you know what? I'll scare the shit out of you. Most of the time, I shave it.
That doesn't scare me. I do the same thing.
You're like, welcome to Sesame Street.
Welcome to
right,
Flavor
let-
Town.
Let's get back to the show. You drunks, you.
Listen, we're almost done with this beer. We didn't even get a chance to
I
review
know.
it.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. We're going to do a song and then the beer review. We'll skip the song. And we'll go right to the beer review and then hit the song. So our first beer
Damn
is
blueberries.
yeah. For anyone, first beer is Hoppin' Frog. It's called Carminator. It's an Imperial Doppelbock Lager, 9.3% alcohol.
It's actually good. I actually enjoy this one.
Yeah.
It's not hoppy. It's not, even though it's called Hopping Frog. When I read it, I'm like, oh, what the fuck? But it actually is. What do you consider this? Like a amber?
Well, no, it's a Doppelbock. It's a double bock beer.
So they're all this color.
It's a type of
Yeah.
they're real strong.
So it's I don't know.
malty.
Yeah, but it's not as harsh as the other shit that we've had here before. I actually like it. I think it's smooth.
I liked it a lot. The first hit, the first like initial swallow was like, ooh, But then I got into it, and it's really, really tasty. I would do this all night long.
You sound like Neil right now.
No,
That comment was amazing. The first swallow was a little rough, but I like it now.
You can all go get fucked.
Oh fuck! But anyways, yeah. So I enjoyed this one. What do you think?
Yeah, I liked it. It's not something I could drink all night long, but having one here and there, I definitely could. It reminds me a lot of the Troganator,
Yeah, I didn't think of that.
and that was one of those beers that I would always get 1 or 2 a year. I really liked. It's kind of like something special, so I really enjoyed it. Yeah, I would drink it again.
And it has like a sweet hint, right? Doesn't it? Like,
Yeah.
Like it has like if it was honey or something.
Well, that's that type of beer. It's the malt they use. They tend to have like a lot of that sweetness to it. It's
No, it's something that I wouldn't be able to drink that whole bottle.
No,
And
me either.
It's too sweet for like.
I mean, I really enjoy it, but it's like I said, a special. It's something like a treat, you know. But
Fair enough.
I mean, I think out of a 5, I would give it a 4.
I gave it a 3.5.
yeah, I'd do a
3.5.
3 because of the sweetness. Prepare for the sweetness.
Yeah, welcome to
Yeah.
Flavor Town.
Yeah, baby.
All right, so moving on, we're gonna do something a little bit different here than we normally do. We're gonna play a bit of Schniblet of the song, a little bit of it. Schniblet, man. We're Pennsylvania Dutch.
There's your Dutchie coming out.
Two out of the 3 of us.
He's been here long
I don't even know
enough.
what
He's Dutch.
what is Big Nose then?
I'm a mud of 57 flavors.
So we'll go ahead and we'll play it. The song is from a band called Sunspeaker. The album is Avlustra. The song is called Damn. You can find them on Bandcamp and Facebook. We'll play a little bit of it at the end. If you hang around at the end of the podcast, I'll play the full song for y'all, and I will post a link up on the Facebook page. So
Where are they from?
Oh, Phoenix. I'm sorry. They're
Okay.
from Arizona.
Okay.
So, well, let's go ahead and listen.
I liked it. I'm not a fan of the keyboard thing, but I really did like it.
It's if I remember right, that's the concept album. The whole album's fucking amazing. It's just this fucking awesome. It reminds me a bit of Dimmu Borgir. Yeah, I really liked it. Like I said, I will have the full song at the end of the podcast. You can listen to it, and I will link them. Super talented dudes, man. I really like.
Yeah, they were very talented. I liked the beginning of the song, but then I got stuck in that middle section of what you just played there, kind of like the modern breakdown thing. I'm so over that modern.
You only got
breakdown.
30 seconds of it right now, so calm down.
I really would like to check the rest of it out. I mean, it started off really strong.
Oh, the whole thing's amazing.
Okay.
I've listened to it a few times.
Well, listen to the whole song at the end of the podcast, so you can.
Right,
You know,
and I do like the idea of a concept album being, that's a gutsy thing to do for a not so well known band. Let's try it.
Well, I'll tell you what. One of my top 5 for the year, when we get to that, is a concept album. So you'll hear. So moving along.
Moving right along.
Trivia question, John.
Oh, trivia time.
And we will be giving away a $25 gift certificate for one of our sponsors, which is Creative Vibes Tattoo in West Reading, Pennsylvania.
holy
Woot,
shit!
woot.
Which, coincidentally enough, one of our hosts, Juan, and his
Holy
wife,
shit!
Kirsten, are the owners.
Wow.
So, John.
And the fun part of this is neither of you two know what the question is.
Yeah, all right.
Oh, crap. That had a buildup of nothing.
Way to bring it down.
Alrighty then. Here we go. Intro to Slayer Hell Awaits. If it's played backwards, what does it say?
All right. Well, there you go. Repeat the question one more time for our listener, John.
If you were to play the intro to Slayer Hell Awaits backwards, what will it say? And it does say it.
All right. Well, there you go. That's the trivia question. If you pop on our Facebook page and answer the trivia question, make sure you tell us you're answering the trivia question.
Yeah.
And give us the answer, and you will win a $25 gift certificate to Creative Vibes Tattoo.
It's the first person to chime in, right?
First person who answers it correctly wins the gift certificate.
Nice.
And you can't play, John.
I know. Damn it.
And the second person to answer it correctly will be the first loser.
Now, there we go.
Now,
And you get nothing.
Do we?
No, you get recognition as the first loser.
Do we do that on the page itself, or do you have to
Facebook.
message us?
No, just do it on the Facebook page.
Okay, I didn't know.
So everybody knows it's fair.
All right, and I won't tell anybody the answer.
Moving right along to the next beer. You want to announce that one?
We're going to do Mad Elf.
There are yearly things. So that might be a 2018 Trogs.
Yeah. So this is once a year. So
15
I'm assuming it's new.
IBU.
Yeah, 11%. It's, I don't know, whatever. It's fucking beer. I usually get it every year, at least one, and try it, and it's always the same, and I like it, and then I hate it.
I've never really drank Mad Elf, so does it pretty much taste the same every year, or no?
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah, the only ones that I've gone to places where you can kind of, if they have it on tap, and they'll usually do like the year or two before
Right.
on tap, and I don't know if it tastes any different. I'm not a beer drinker, but I always try it just in case people always say, "Oh, it's way better when it's older," blah blah blah, whatever. It's the same to me. It always has like one of these, and I'm good with it. If you have two, it just does something to your insides that you're like, oh,
Gives you the poopies.
damn. Now after drinking this beer, after that one, it makes this one taste so sour,
Yeah, it does give it a little bit.
right?
Yeah.
Because it's never this taste at all.
No. I really enjoy Christmas beers. Right now is, the Christmas beer season, and Mad Elf does do a good one every year. But I'm trying to think. Sly Fox, I get a 6-pack of that at home. Their Christmas beer, it's like a gingerbread something, and
Well, I mean,
it is really good.
I'm looking at some of that taste. As soon as I hit it, like I knew what it was. It's a Belgian yeast.
Okay.
Like you can taste that.
Yeah.
That phenolic kind of like bubblegummy.
Yeah, see, you would
Banana
know
taste,
more of
like-
that shit than I do, so that's great.
You know, from so hitting that, and then they're using Saaz and Hallertau, which are both noble hops. They're not like strong in your face hops.
Right.
You know, like some of the West Coast stuff. So it's a good. I think it's a really good beer. I've never had it before.
Really? That's
No.
shocking.
Yeah, right? It's like the Elf urine and throw-up mixture that comes in.
So is that what? So if an elf jizzed into a bottle, puked in it, and then pissed in it, that's what you'd get.
This is it,
This
right
beer.
here.
It's an elf outhouse.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's not very flattering to Trogs, but it actually isn't bad.
No, I really like it. I
They-
look forward to these every
yeah,
year.
Every year. People love it. It's not like, people don't know what it is, I'm sure.
Right. It is good. I really like
It's
it.
an average popular beer for this time of year.
No, I
So-
think pretty much everybody looks forward to it, doesn't? You always every this time of year, anybody I know that's in a beer, or even people I don't know in a beer, they're like, "Oh man, elf so blah blah blah."
Yeah.
So,
Well, I think a lot of people are probably also like, oh, 11%er, look out.
Yeah.
no, I mean, I love Trogs. Trogs,
Yeah.
you can't go wrong with pretty much
I-
anything from
I
Trogs.
don't
You
think I've
you can go wrong a couple times.
I don't think I've found anything from that.
Bless you.
Thank you. All right, going on to what's next.
Well,
You're the director.
we are gonna go ahead and push it into the next song.
Oh, yeah.
So
Here we go.
the next song is from a band called Nyctophile. The album is We Are Darkness. The song is Shit Support. Podcast in its entirety. That is Nyctophile, We Are Darkness, and the song is Shit Support, and you can find them on Bandcamp.
What do you think, Big Nose?
I liked that it was a very classic, like, death metal sound to it.
In the beginning, like it just
Yeah.
came off with that. Yeah.
And just the 30, 40 seconds that we played there, it was really, I really liked it a lot. I don't know if I'm feeling the name of the song, but
Well, I mean, we're not reading the lyrics either.
Right.
I'm
Not
sure
a fucking
there's.
shit supporter.
no,
hell's
I'm not a
wrong
shit
with you?
supporter.
Yeah, he is.
I'm not a diaper. But no, I
I don't know. That would be more me. That's kind of my living.
But I
I liked it.
I did like it a lot. Yeah,
I liked it. It
I liked
actually
it.
had a good, strong feel.
It's a title that sucked me in. I mean, that's my career. Shit support.
I really liked them better than the other band that we just played. But I want to look into the other band now.
Yeah, they're dude. Those.
I'd like to look into this band more too.
No, even the band that was previously played, I even enjoyed because I do like Dimmu
Right.
and they do have that feel, but without they're not overly like, oh, at least they didn't come singing with
No,
the fucking
no,
operatic fucking
But
shit.
but these guys here, they had that old school, very mid '90s kind of. I
Yeah,
don't
well,
want to date them, but they
I mean,
had that
that's-
mid '90s death metal that was
Well,
good.
you're married. I hope you wouldn't want to date anybody. You weirdo.
All right, what did you think, Sean?
I loved it. I'm the one that picked it, so
You the man.
I don't
baby.
ever.
I liked it.
What the fuck? You
What
know that's
was
getting fucking
that?
edited out, right?
You guys need to watch that show.
What is it?
It's called Big Mouth.
No.
Oh, that stupid thing.
Oh, you're on crack. You're on crack. Show's
Do you guys watch Rick and Morty?
No, everybody's
Oh my
everybody's
God,
been
did
telling me about it.
Do you watch it?
No, I did. I tried to get into an episode.
Could you
and
not?
It was an episode where they kept like doubling and then tripling and quadrupling, and the
Oh,
screen kept
yes!
splitting up, and it was like different universes.
You
and-
didn't like it?
I'm not a fan of like cartoons too much. Like
Oh, see, no.
I'll do like Bob's Burgers every once in a while with the kids because it's dumb, funny humor. That's like
Right.
everyday dumb stuff.
Well, I mean, for me, it kind of started with Beavis and Butthead, and
Yeah.
then Family Guy. Well, Simpsons.
Well, I
then
love
Family Guy.
Family Guy. I love Futurama.
And, and Futurama.
And I love Bob's Burgers at this point.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
all the
that's-
new stuff that's coming out, it's cool. It's not that I don't like it. It's just it doesn't grab me because
the same.
it's
way.
a different feel. Yeah, it's almost like a real show versus like the other cartoons that are just like random episodes of nothing. That's fun to.
Speaking of Bob's Burger, do you like Archer?
No,
I love Archer.
and I watched that a couple times too. I like American Dad. I fucking hate American
Oh my
Dad.
god, I love American Dad.
I don't know.
fucking
I just
hate
can't
it,
get
dude.
into
I
it
can't
either.
get
Oh my
into
god.
it.
I would like to move along to kind of our top fives of the year.
Well, it's the end of the year, so let's do a quick.
So why don't we start with our top 5 albums of the year? I'm going to start it off. I will start with my number 5 because I can't barely pronounce it. But the band is Abhorrence,
Oh,
which was kind of their comeback album. Like they had been gone for a long time.
Yes,
They're
yeah.
from Finland.
it's a good album.
The name of the album is Megalohydrotha Lasophic. Oh my god, is that fucking Scandinavian death metal at its finest. I love the sound of it. My number 4.
I just put them on. That's the blue green album, right?
Yes.
I just put them on Apple Music.
Yeah, the whole album is kind of like H.P. Lovecraft themed, Cthulhu themed. It's really good.
That's funny. I was gonna add them on here, but I'm like, I didn't get a chance to really listen to them that
Oh my
much,
God.
so I was like, I won't. But
Well, we
It's great
actually
that you
talked
like
about them on the very first podcast before we were playing music, and I did a really shit job of that, and I really feel bad. But that was really one of my top 5 albums of the year. It was fucking awesome.
so wait, you reviewed them bad?
No, well, I gave them a good review, but I could have done better.
So we
I'm-
all shit on them.
Huh?
Did we shit on that band?
No, because we didn't play any music.
Oh,
That was kind of early in our incarnation. So my number 4 for 2018, The Crown, Cobra Speed Venom. One of my all-time favorite death metal bands. Well, one of my all-time favorite bands is The Crown from Sweden. They're fucking awesome. Crowned in Terror is one of the best death metal albums ever made, in my opinion. Moving up, number 3, and this was my concept album I was talking about, was Andhera, Firewalker. Those dudes just blew me away this year. Fuck you, Neil. Number 2, Deceased, Ghostly White. King did a fucking killer job in this album. And, sadly, as most you know or don't know, their drummer passed away when he was visiting relatives down in Latin America. He drowned. So that kind of fucking really sucks. I mean, that kind of put
It
a
was like
damper on.
Tuesday before the album came out.
Yeah, it was like the week before the album was supposed to be released.
That was so.
It sucked, but it's kind of a good, I don't know, memory. You know,
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
to his drumming, his ability, it was a great album.
It's a really good album.
Yeah, it is.
Really good
It's
album.
one of my favorite Deceased albums. And my number one was Alms from Baltimore, Act 1. That album blew me away. I've listened to that album, I don't know, fucking 50 times since we got it as a promo. Absolutely amazing. I can't really say how much I love this album enough. I listen to it at least twice a week. It's killer. So, do you want to give your top 5 albums? From your John?
My top 5s are a little bit different. I did do a more of a underground top 3. The only problem is I don't remember the one album's name. But we're just gonna go with it for better or for worse. My number 3 of more underground is Vicious Circle. Their new album. We reviewed that a couple weeks ago. It is so freaking heavy. I mean, you've heard it.
Yeah, it's killer. I love it.
I mean, Vinny and them been hitting the streets for a long time, and I really like that album a lot.
I mean, I know had I done a top 10, they would have been in the top 10 for sure.
My number 2 is Vermithrax from Pittsburgh. Really nice guys, very classic, old school, just new wave of British heavy metal meets thrash metal. I love them guys a lot. And my number 1, that was you.
It was me with a bottle cap, sorry.
My number 1 underground album would be, I keep saying their name wrong, I guess, because you say it different than I say it.
Andhara. I say Andhara, you say Andhara, whatever.
Those guys.
Tomato.
Those guys really did a really good deal with their album. And I really like it a lot, and I see big things coming for them.
And their fucking live show is killer. Like those dudes, like I say, they're in my top 5. And
now I did a top 5 of like bigger bands. My number 5 was the new Judas Priest, Firepower. I like that album a lot.
No, since I haven't heard it yet, how does it compare to their last couple releases? Now I know Nostradamus. Everybody told me it was a bit long-winded.
Nostradamus was terrible. I believe it's a kick in the face, kind of like when the first time you heard Painkiller. And I would put this up against Painkiller.
Ooh, that's a bold statement.
I know.
No, and they picked it. They in a lot of places. A lot of places where they were doing reviews for 2018 of just generalized music. Right. The new Judas Priest was always on the list.
Oh, that's
like people always liked it.
My number 4 was Rivers of Nile.
John's Normal.
Where the Owls Know My Name.
That was on there too.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I struggled with not getting them on my top 5. I mean, they're definitely in my top 10, but they're in my top 10 personally, but they just, that was such a good album.
This was an album that just came in recently. Greta Van Fleet, Anthem to a Peaceful Army. I really like that a lot.
Whoa, really?
Yeah.
I'm actually cutting. That is Juan. He does not like anything
John
Zeppelin-ish at all.
Number 2, I really love this album from the beginning to end.
Justin Bieber.
This band is just unstoppable in my eyes. Gruesome, Twisted Prayers.
Oh, those fucking dudes are killer.
And my number 1 album of the year was Voivod, The Wake.
Ooh, speaking of which, so Yob, Voivod, and I forget who else is playing.
Yeah, I didn't remember who that was.
But Yob and Voivod are touring.
I never heard Yob until the other night.
Their new album
is really
it's
good.
really good.
Fucking right it is.
That was, whoa.
Yeah.
I was, for about 45 minutes, was kicking myself in the ass going, why don't I know this band? I mean, this was so good.
Oh, and by the way, shit britches, I had asked you to go to see Yob and fucking Bellwitch, and you were like, man, I don't like them.
But, yeah, I've really liked their new album. I did a lot of other things, like my top 5 shows of the year.
Go for it. That's what the fuck we're here for.
All right, well.
I don't have that much.
All right, well, here, can you pour this for me?
Yes, I can do that.
All right, Leanne.
Because, I got to read. I don't have my glasses on. Yes, I wear glasses.
What?
Yeah, I do.
I didn't know that.
Are they dyed like sunglasses, or are they just regular glasses?
All right, my shows for 2018 were Obituary at Reverb. That was
a good
yes.
one.
That was a really good one. I was at this show with 2,500 other people, and you guys are going to look at me like, what? Lucifer on the Kiss Cruise 8 were fucking amazing. You need to look up. You need to look up Lucifer. They're some dirty old school rock and roll. I love them.
I've known Lucifer forever.
All right, Kiss Unplugged on the cruise was amazing.
Ew.
Then At the Gates at the Decibel Fest was number 2 of my favorite shows of the year, and number 1 was Suffocation and Black Dahlia Murder at One Center Square.
So that was the one that they did the next day at the Chameleon,
Yeah.
right? It was that
Yeah.
tour.
I mean,
That
that's
was
just
a
a
good
great
show.
package.
That was Decrepit Birth.
Yeah. There was another overseas band on that.
Was
I
it
can't
something
remember.
Witch? Something.
Something like that. I can't remember what
It
they
wasn't
were.
Bell Witch that he wanted to see.
Yeah.
Sean would know. Well, on the other hand, when we were told to try to do a roundup of the 2018 best albums, it was difficult for me because I don't like to listen to albums. I just, it's not that people don't put out good albums. I personally get bored listening to the same thing. I don't like repetition of the same band because most of the times the albums are really good
Yeah.
songs, but when you write them, you have a feel that is repetitive to a degree.
Right, I got you.
And I'm not like that. I really love to experience so much stuff, and I get tidbits here and there. So when I did this one, it's more like songs that I picked of the albums, and I had a hard time. So I only have the top 3 that I've been listening to recently. And I'm going to start with number 3 is the new Marduk album. I don't know if you guys
I love
listen
that.
to it.
was
but
it
I haven't heard it yet,
Victoria.
Victoria? No, I haven't. I've heard a little bit of it.
There's
not
like
enough
3 songs on there that I have them on my playlist, and every time it comes on, it's like I really do love them. I didn't write them down on here to tell you, but I picked it as an album because
Right.
I do listen to those specific songs, on a daily basis. Most of the time when I'm in the shower naked, taking a shower, John.
That is so hot.
Well, sometimes I get in my clothes. But. And then number 2 is the new Deicide, which again, I picked a couple songs from there, and I listen to them regularly. I don't necessarily like the albums in general to be like, this is my best album. But like I said,
I see what you mean there,
have
because
it.
Deicide, I haven't heard the whole thing, but it is really good. But Deicide is one set pace, the whole thing.
But that's why I only pick a couple songs.
Right,
and
I
that's
get
the
you on
reason
that.
why I don't have albums. And, that's a perfect example.
Right. You know what you're getting with Deicide.
Correct.
Well,
But
I
it's-
mean, I'd venture to guess that they are not the Deicide of old. There was, I think, after Once Upon the Cross.
No, but I wouldn't want them to be the same Deicide either.
Right.
Don't get me wrong. Like,
No.
I want them to be different, and I want them to try new things.
Yeah,
And-
but they kind of got repetitive after a while. I kind of lost interest. There was a long time, I think, and they were one of the ones that kind of fell into that category.
Right.
Death
Well,
metal kind
they
of went.
switched a bunch of members too,
Yeah.
and every time they switched members, it seems like they tried something new, but the new members came in and did old Deicide
Right.
feel with just their style of playing,
Right.
and it never worked out.
Right.
Which
This album, there's I think 2 songs that I repeat back and forth that I put on the same playlist because I go through and I pick. What I do is I download the album on Apple Music. I'll listen through tidbits of it, and then there's something that'll catch my ear.
and then you listen
And
to
I'll
the whole
add
thing.
it. I'll add that to a special playlist that I make that I want to kind of re-listen to, and then I'll listen to that a couple weeks, and I'll eliminate stuff as I don't like it, and then I get down to my final playlist that I will listen to
Right.
regularly. And they've made 2 songs of their album has made it onto this playlist that I made, and I like it. So the next album, which again is the new Misery Index, pulling out the nails. I fucking love it. I can't. I watched the video of their thing. I love Misery Index. That's a band that this year I really fell in love with, and I can't even tell you how much I dig
No,
those
I mean,
guys.
It
It might have been the experience that I had first watching them,
oh my god.
and then listening to them, and I always attach the visual memory that I have to it. But I truly love that band.
Do you know I got to say, because we were together obviously down at Death Fest for that, and seeing them live, they fucking blew me away.
Yeah.
I mean they just
I've never seen a band play so fucking
and
crazy,
passionately.
and
Yeah,
and loud and fast and intense, but clean and perfect and passionately is a perfect word.
They were one of those bands that when you're at one of those all day fest shows, there's that your mind and everything goes. We've heard this, and then they came out and they just just something about them just clicked.
It was
And-
perfect.
Right. They were very good.
And it was in the middle of the day, like right in between. So you weren't expecting this great band to pop up right now. So it's like the perfect mix of like,
Well,
let's
and-
get everybody back awake.
And they were one of those bands that, and I can't remember if it was me or you, but I mean, I know I wanted to see them, but I couldn't remember if we were like, yeah, do we got to go fucking see
I
these
had no
guys? Like,
idea. You were excited. We went and looked at their T-shirts, and you were like, "You're gonna love this fucking band."
like which I had listened to them before, and like I honestly can say, I mean, and I don't know the ages of everybody that listens to the podcast, but the three of us kind of came up with death metal.
Right.
It's not like we were Johnny Come Latelys. We were there
No,
at the
we were-
fucking
we were
beginning
at the
of it.
beginning.
I mean, I can remember listening to Napalm Scum when it first came out. Like that's how early on we got into this kind of shit. You know, that was before everything went, well, no, Napalm's grindcore, this is this, you know. But anyway, what I'm getting at is I think now is actually some of the best time to be into death metal than ever. Like, you know, we were there at the inception of this shit, and
Now
we've
it's-
seen it grow, and there was a long time where it fucking stagnated. But now I think is one of the best times. In fact, it's actually oversaturated.
Right.
It's too hard. I mean, there's so
There's-
much shit on Bandcamp. You get the fucking talent is fucking unreal. Like I go through Bandcamp and I'm literally my fucking head hurts.
Between the three of us, we just did 21 albums or bands of the 2018. Just think about that for 1 second. We did 21. That's only a thimble of what's out there these days.
There wasn't even fucking 21 bands when we first got into
Oh
it.
yes.
I mean, if you think about this, I mean, this was going back fucking what 20 some
well,
years.
there probably wasn't 21 recognized bands.
Right.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Like, and we didn't have the access to. I mean, even as tape traders, you didn't have the access to that many bands.
Right.
I
and
mean,
I love this time of music, but I hate this time of music because I know I'm missing somebody. I know I'm missing something that's going to be that we would say, oh my god, when we first heard Napalm, like this is going to be the greatest thing ever. That is out there, but it's so hidden.
but they're all the fucking greatest band. That's
Right.
one of my problems with.
Yeah, that era, like a lot of the iconic bands now that were big bands back then,
you
were
know,
the people.
I mean, you listen to the talent pool. I mean, and I'll pull up an example of Rivers of Nile. The fucking talent in that band, it just eclipses anything that we listened to back in the day. And I'm not taking away from those guys. I mean, those guys brought us into this era.
Right.
But the talent pool that's out there now blows anything the fuck away that we listened to when we were coming up.
Musician wise,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and like I say, I mean, you could. I mean, the fucking list.
We
is
can go on.
endless.
We can go on for this for
yeah.
hours.
I mean, you can wax poetic all you want, but the fact of the matter is, the shit now just fucking blows everything away.
Right.
It is great. I mean,
But,
Misery Index being the best example of that. I think
love
they
that
are the
band.
fucking. And I mean, that was the highlight of that whole. I mean, there was 3 bands that we saw that day that really hung out. And well, for me, it was Misery Index,
Goat Whore,
Goat Horror.
who wasn't even a part of the fucking.
No, they were touring with somebody else, and they just did a free
Satyricon.
show. Oh, it was Satyricon, yeah.
Yeah.
And fucking Bolzer. For me, it was Bolzer. I loved them guys.
Was that the guy that was by himself?
It was just 2 guys. It was a drummer,
The drummer
and
and the
guitar player and the
yeah,
singer.
yeah. No, we were just talking about that to somebody at the shop, and
And-
I was impressed.
You know, I
with
mean,
that.
he obviously plays with the pedals, and they have a
Right.
fucking backing track for the bass and stuff. But they were, I'm really looking forward to seeing them again too.
All right, where are we going now?
Is that all our lists?
That's all our
That's
list.
it. Yeah.
Well, we've got one more beer to talk about,
Okay, dokie.
and that is
Where did it go?
This piece of turd.
You don't like it?
No, no kidding.
It's a pizza turd.
Well, this is actually one of my favorite breweries, and it is Saucony Creek in Kutztown, Pennsylvania. The beer is an Imperial Vanilla Porter, 8% alcohol by volume. And I bought this yesterday when I was out there. Literally, like I said, this brewery is one of my favorite breweries. I spend a hell of a lot of time there. Big shout out. I love this beer.
Juan?
Yeah, it's good. It's an average porter,
Yeah.
I'll go with that.
which you know,
I thought it was a whenever I see something that says vanilla, I never really get the vanilla hint. So
it's because you are vanilla.
yeah, I would say so. But
No, but I like it.
I'll give it a 2.5 out of 5.
You what?
I'll give it a 2.5 out of 5.
A 2.5.
Yeah, I'm not overly excited over it, but I don't hate it. So it's okay.
What are you,
Meh.
drunk?
No, but I'll give it a meh.
I wish we had the cricket sound right now. I love it.
No, I like it. I'd give it a 4 out of
yeah,
5.
definitely.
You know, it's not like the best because it is, again, it tastes like a vanilla
Right.
porter.
Do you seriously
It's
don't
great.
get that hint of vanilla at the back end of it?
Just a little bit, but not.
But that's all you need.
No, I
You
like
don't
a
want
lot
it.
of.
You don't want it in your fucking face.
I want it in my face.
No, that's cock.
Neil's not
You
here.
like- yeah.
So back to the beer.
Is,
You guys
is
suck.
Neil the fourth member of this episode?
In this episode called either Walk or Kneel with Us.
Oh.
I'm writing that down because that's what it's going to be.
Oh.
So I'm
Wow.
I'm thinking we need to have Neil in the next episode because it's not fair to pick on Neil with him not here.
No. I think we should have him on.
Do you think? Do you think he can wake up in time?
No,
Oh, yeah.
he can't. Just to be clear, we did ask Neil to be on before, and he forgot.
Really?
Don't you remember?
With Floyd, we had Floyd
Oh,
here.
with
Oh, yeah,
Floyd,
I was.
yes,
I
you
was
weren't
at,
here, that's
yeah,
right.
I was.
Yeah, and he just never showed up, which is, understandable.
That's cool, dude. He overslept. I get it.
I know.
Such a rock star thing.
But whatever. He overslept. No worries. I
Neil
gave him hell.
Rose.
I gave him hell at the show about it.
Well,
Neil Rose.
Just going forward.
But maybe next time,
next year, we want to definitely move this show, push it a lot
a
harder.
little faster, a little shorter.
I want to ask you guys one quick question, and then we'll go into this. What in music are you looking forward to in 2019?
The new Exhorter.
Yeah.
Because Kyle Thomas has been posting up regularly that he is recording new lyrics, and so I'm really looking
And they
forward.
just signed a Nuclear Blast.
And they just signed a Nuclear Blast. That's a big fucking deal.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking forward to new Overkill, new Exhorter. You were just saying.
Oh, new Overkill,
Mhm.
my all-time favorite band.
Yeah, Deathfest, Decibel Fest. I'm really scratching the idea of that Quebec Fest. You got anything coming up in 2019 you want to?
Nope.
Okay, then.
I'm gonna. I think
I
you
take
should.
it the way it is.
I
I'm excited for Canada and Death Fest there. That's
Yeah,
that's
because
a given.
mean, I know personally I can't do both. Like I can't do Maryland and
No.
Quebec, so I think
No.
we're gonna do Quebec. I mean, that's just first of all, it's uniqueness. That's only the second time they've had it, and
No, I
mean,
definitely want to do it only because it's new. Like you said, it is new and it's new to me, which makes it even better.
Right.
And I like, again, I don't listen to an album because I don't like repetition. I like change.
Right.
And I love Maryland Death Fest, but if I can change it, and we gotta.
No, we'll go to Maryland again. It's just a matter of.
No,
I
I
mean,
know.
Asphyx is playing up
Right.
in.
I agree with you guys.
But I mean, there's and here's something I'll bring up briefly that I've read about, and I think is going to kind of affect some of these death fests. Is a lot of the bands, and it was Satyricon, it was Satyr who said it,
Yeah.
that the issue with visas
Mhm.
is why a lot of these bands are not coming to the States as often, and I think you're going to see things like Quebec really shining because
Right.
bands don't want to come to the fucking U.S. and deal with the bullshit to get a visa to come here to play.
Right.
So.
I want to save this for another episode, but the amount that is going into shows these days, like ticket prices, and people think that it's just this band's being greedy. No, it's not. It's a whole drawn out thing, and we'll get to that at another time.
Well, something that we kind of pushed off that we were going to have this month and we didn't, and I would really like to have him on, is Frank from Frank
Yeah.
Phobia. We need to get him on because I think if anyone's going to have the insight, it's going to be Frank.
Yeah.
Um,
I just spent 5 days with him on a boat, and yes, he has more insight than I could ever even think of.
oh no, I'm dying to fucking
Yeah.
get him on here and just listen to what he has to say. So I mean, that's I think next month, next podcast, or next few podcasts, if we can get him to come on.
Well, he told me we just got to give him a date set in stone,
And that's not a problem.
so
I
that
can
way
do
he can move things around to come to us.
Yeah, well, I don't want to inconvenience him too much, but I
Right.
definitely would like to have him on for
We'll just
a
get
couple.
a couple dates and be like, we're doing it this day, this day, this day. Which one can you do? If not, we'll figure something else out.
All right. So as you were saying before we all went sideways, I started it with the what are you looking for 2019?
Well, 2019. Well,
What you were saying
thanks to
before
you.
that.
Thanks to you, I'm looking forward to Kiss.
Ew.
No, well, I grew up. Well, we had this. You and I had this discussion before
Yeah.
on, but I grew up with Kiss, so like
I'm
I've
looking forward to it too.
I've only seen them once, and that was on the Hot in the Shade tour.
Oh
Every
jeez.
kiss begins with John.
I got to see him do an unplugged set. You were in the bathroom when I did my top 5. Their unplugged set on that boat was amazing.
Was Ace with them on that?
Ace was with him. Tommy Thayer was playing with him. Bruce Kulick. It was all three of them.
Was
just
it like
right-
a long set?
Yeah, they did like 18 songs, I think it was.
Damn, dude, I would never think they would take the
Acoustic.
butt plugs out.
Yeah.
Butt plugs out, playing acoustic.
But yeah, they played some gems on that too.
Wow.
I mean, they opened with "Coming Home." You're a big rock and roll all over fan.
It's my favorite album.
I can't think of what they played from that right now without just like sitting back going, because it was, it was 18 songs. It was such a rush seeing Ace come out. So
Mm-hmm.
I would venture to guess that, and not to speak for you, Juan, but you're looking forward to Soulfly for 2019.
Yeah. Only because we saw them at Reverb before one time. They came a couple times, but
Yeah.
the one time that I went to, their sound was perfect that day. They actually truly did sound really good. I think it was the first time, not the second
Okay.
time, when he came with Lodicon and it was his other son's band.
Okay, yeah.
And Insight. But his son wasn't drumming.
Okay.
He had like a redheaded tall drummer
Yeah.
guy at that point. They sounded great. They played perfect. The second time I didn't see them come around Reverb when the son was already drumming.
Right.
So I'm looking forward to seeing them and see what happens.
Yeah.
Sometimes people go down, sometimes people come up.
That's one band that I'm not big on Soulfly. I really love old school Sepultura. I know you do.
Mm-hmm. I do as well.
I would
That's
just.
right.
I really wish that they can just patch that up just for one last
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know, dude.
I do and I don't, because at the end of the day, it's like, that's an old chapter.
Right.
It's like, all of a sudden seeing your old girlfriend and being like, oh, well, she looks fucking good. She's fucking old girlfriend, dude.
Yeah, but you
Get
know
over
what?
it.
I think they could do an old
I would
school
like to see it once.
No, I
They
think
tried that with, didn't they do the Max and Igor tour?
Yeah, they did the Roots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
that was
hold
there.
on. But are they not? Did they not just do a Rise not long ago as well?
Yeah, they did a Rise at one of the festivals.
Yeah.
And I didn't see any of the video of
Look,
it.
I mean, I'll be quite honest with you. Max and Igor could do all the Sepultura shit. You don't need Andreas and fucking Paulo. Like they were
Honestly,
not the
yeah.
biggest fucking part of it. And
Yeah,
I think Andreas
Well, I think
Kisser is way too hung up on his.
But I
fucking
think
self.
Andreas at the time, he had the solos and he brought that to the table. Like Max did the rhythm, and he really honestly did. Not that makes the song. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
But Paulo, he's definitely hitting the gong there. So
You don't even have the noisemaker and you're
he's
making
definitely
noise.
angry. He's like, oh, brong, what the fuck? He's one that they could do with or without, whatever.
There's a topic for another show, is bands that are still together but without original members.
Do you know who I would fucking want to see again do the whole album, just the album, like going back?
Right.
Creator.
Ooh.
Like if they would just come back and do Extreme Aggressions, just that album, or Coma of Souls, like I would see either of those.
Dude, that was one of those bands. I know this is going to sound really fucking weird, but I've never gone to see them again because we seen them on the Coma of Souls
That's
tour,
when I saw them.
and it's so hard for me to see them after that because they played all that shit from Flag of Hate and
I have their last album, and it came because they're on Nuclear Blast, and Nuclear Blast always puts out like a beautiful package of like DVDs and shit like that. And it was them from Vodkin, and holy shit, that show was amazing. Now, would they would do that in America? Probably not.
But you know what? That is one band that is still a powerhouse. Like,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'm saying, like, I'm not saying that they haven't put out anything good since. It's just hard for me because
That
we've
was
seen-
such a good.
Oh
I
my
remember
God.
that was Biohazard and Morgoth for them.
Yeah, and that was
Morgoth.
Morgoth's first night in the U.S.
Yep.
I mean, that was
And then here,
Wait,
there's
they-
a band. They
they-
only have that album. Only has like one or two songs that I love.
Okay.
what Hate Eternal.
I'm not
I
gonna tell you
believe
the
that's the
name.
album,
If I
right?
hear
No,
it,
Eternal.
that's the one with all the green pus.
Yeah,
Slimy
Eternal Resurrection.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
yes,
it.
Yes.
Whew.
Wow, look at
Oh,
that.
Oh, you pulled that one out of your ass.
Yeah, there was some smoke
That
coming
hair
from that
dye.
one.
The hair dye was fucking moving
It was
aside.
smoking. But they've done their newer stuff is really good.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I missed this one in the news to send to you guys. They just lost
the guitar player.
original guitar
Yep,
player passed away.
away.
So our condolences to them.
Yeah, that sucks.
But yeah, that's one thing I want to bring up in the next one of our future shows is bands that are still together with no original members. There's a bunch of them.
Foreigner.
Backstreet Boys.
Foreigner would be. Backside Boys are still together.
In Flames, Sepultura.
In Flames?
In Flames, there's not an original member in that band.
Not one?
Not one.
Why the fuck do they keep the name then? At this point, like,
Well, Kiss had talked about that. Paul Stanley came out and said that Kiss would probably continue without any original members.
Yeah.
It's not looking that way now.
No, that.
But who
'cause
the
they got-
fuck would want to listen
Right.
to Kiss
Yeah, I
without
was gonna
Paul
say,
Stanley and
who
Gene
would-
Simmons?
I mean, they said
Just
that they
makes
would
no
put them
fucking
in the same
sense.
makeup and all that kind of
Oh,
stuff.
it's
And,
fucking-
and me being the diehard that I am, I was like, no, don't do it.
I mean,
don't.
I fought all that shit too. I mean, that was the first band I was into as a little boy. I mean,
I will say this though, the Bruce Kulick's band on the boat. If they were to do that, his singer would be the perfect Paul Stanley because that's all Bruce Kulick did was all like the '80s Kiss stuff, like the hidden tracks.
yeah, but that's fucking heresy. You can't fucking
Right.
Kiss.
I do
That's
do
like
agree with you on that. But
like
if
doing
there was,
Aerosmith
that
without
would be-
that grandmother singing. You know what I mean? You
So now
can't
what do you-
fucking do it.
what do you think of the new Malevolent?
I do like it.
Like,
I don't.
not the actual album itself, just the whole
The
fact
lineup?
of like, because at the end of the day, Brett was basically Malevolent. In my feel, like that's the Malevolent that I love.
What the new
The
one?
singing wise.
The
I
new one.
thought you
mean.
said Morbid Angel.
No,
No,
Malevolent.
Malevolent. You fucking
Jesus
weirdo.
Christ.
There goes back to the blueberries.
Yeah, go back.
No, Malevolent. Like, not saying that the new thing isn't great. I'm just saying, like, you're talking about
Right.
members and people in bands. Like, I loved his voice, and
Right.
that's a feel of that band to me. Not saying that the new one isn't going to be good.
Well, he left there for a little while.
He did a
Brett
couple
Hoffman,
albums,
yeah.
yes.
Who?
But
Brett
all
Hoffman.
the
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
but all the albums that he was on, it was like to me you can hear Malevolent Creations back. Like they have a sound with him that they didn't have with the other guy.
Right.
That
See, I still to this day, their album Retribution is my favorite from them. And then
Look, well, let me ask
Internal.
you this: is Retribution your favorite because we seen him and hung out him on that tour?
no, it's just that album is just really aggressive.
Now, see,
It's-
Ten Commandments is one of my top 5 death metal albums.
See, I
of
like
all time.
Ten Commandments, but Retribution was just that much heavier and that much. It sounded more pissed off.
That was definitely the next step.
Yeah.
I thought, but I mean, like, again, we seen him on that tour.
Right, and then after that was Stillborn. And Stillborn was, but Eternal was a really.
did you like Will
really,
to Kill?
Yeah, that was all right. There were another, like we were saying earlier about like Deicide, how it just kind of went. A lot of their albums kind of just did that. There was like 1-2 songs you really liked, and then the rest were just throwaways.
No, I agree.
So, I'm looking forward to their new album.
Yeah,
that's-
absolutely. And I hopefully I can redeem myself and go see them if they come around because I still need to see them.
You've
live.
you've never seen them.
Never got to see them, and unfortunately, it won't be the one that I want to see. It's like
Right.
Led Zeppelin's touring for people who love Led Zeppelin.
Well,
and-
did you
and
not
you're
have
missing
tickets to
it.
see him, and that's when
Yeah.
they broke up
Yep.
again?
Yep.
Yeah, I was going
And
to
they
go with you.
canceled that whole fucking shit. I was angry, but whatever.
Here's a quick one for you. I saw them in Forbidden in Allentown, and it literally was like,
Malevolent and Forbidden.
yeah, it was in like an office building, and that they just threw together this horrible stage in the corner, and yeah, it was like 95 maybe, and I would say there was probably 30 people there.
Is Forbidden the one that had the album with the red and blue
Yep.
skull?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh my God, Forbidden. They're in my top
Oh, that's great.
top 10 all-time
I
favorites.
remember sitting down and drawing that album cover.
Really,
Yeah.
I love that album.
That was Forbidden
Twisted
Evil, wasn't it?
And Twist into Form.
Yeah.
Or
No,
Twisted
yeah.
into Form.
Wasn't it
No, it's
Forbidden?
Forbidden
It was
Evil.
Forbidden Evil.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
you're right. Wow.
Yeah, and it had the two skulls, red and.
Twist into
great.
Form was the next album.
Yes.
But all right, where are we going here?
I think we're going to wrap it up.
I think so too.
Thanks, everybody, for playing along. Again, I'm going to play them 2 songs for you at the end, and I will have links to the bands on the Facebook page. Thank you, and we will talk to you later.
And don't forget about the trivia.
Oh, yeah, don't forget about the trivia. How about we just do that one more time so everybody gets a second chance?
On the Slayer Hell Awaits, the intro. If it's played backwards, what will it say?
And there you go. You get a $25 gift certificate for a tattoo at Creative Vibes Tattoo Studio.
And
Thanks.
real quick, you guys said in the beginning here when we were talking about Black Crown, and I said about emailing Andy Thomas about getting an interview. He just texted me back and said whenever.
So there you go. We're going to have Andy
Oh,
from
shit.
Black Crown on.
All right.
Thanks for playing along. We'll talk to you later.
Take
Thank
care.
you. Take it
Later.
easy, guys.